Welcome back, L2 crypto community. Today we'll be covering the top 5 biggest crypto scams, and boy must I say there are some good ones. Through researching all these scams, I will say up front that there are a lot of different opinions and angles to these companies and articles. So what I'll be doing here is giving you a broader, more widely accepted view, and then of course you can derive what you want from that. Almost all these scams are still ongoing in terms of investigations. And just a disclaimer that this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and all the opinions here are for entertainment purposes and are based off my own research. Always do your own research and consult a financial advisor before investing your money. Also, just before I dive in, I will say from my experiences that sticking to bigger, more popular names, brands that have more regulatory clarity, transparency of who they are and what they're looking to achieve is a good rule of thumb. I have not been burned by an altcoin or exchange to date, but there have been giant fees I've been hit with at times from certain exchanges, and that really has been the biggest issue for me. For example, the gas fees for Ethereum-based coins and networks are quite heavy. Let's jump into the top 5 biggest crypto scams. Coming in at number 5 is Mirror Trading International. The total amount that was scammed seems to be around $1.3 billion. This is assuming the amount of Bitcoin taken was 29,000 at an average price of $45,000 per coin. According to Bitcoin.com, Johann Steinberg, who is or was the CEO of Mirror Trading International, or MTI, was arrested in Brazil. He was caught using false documents according to the Brazilian authorities. They nabbed computers and payment cards and ID cards during that arrest. So back in December of 2020, investors of MTI were unable to withdraw their funds, and Steinberg appeared to have fled. Right before leaving, there were reports that he had blocked management from being able to access the Bitcoin or BTC. The company had gone into liquidation, and the details still seem to be unfolding as he was just recently arrested. It took approximately a year for him to be found. It looks like Interpol as well as other government agencies were in contact with each other just to find him. In terms of coverage on this African-based crypto scam, it really hasn't received as much coverage these days, even though there's major progress. Africa is one of the smaller cryptocurrency communities currently, but it's been growing dramatically over the years. Apparently, 8,000 Bitcoin has been recovered with another 1,281 from FX Choice. That will total just around 417 million. If you have a few moments, I need to ask a huge favor, which is to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit that like button. Coming in at number 4 is Bitconnect at approximately 3.45 billion. Although the SEC, which began suing Bitconnect as well as its founder for $2 billion, would seem to put the number lower, it's hard to tell exactly what the number is, honestly. Nonetheless, it's a lot of money, and let's take a look at what happened. Bitconnect was a lending platform that you can invest in, which seemed like it could offer high rates of return. It had a BCC token that was on Jan 2017 worth only 17 cents, which rose to $460 over the span of a year. Following that, it plummeted to zero. In November of 2017, the UK government requested Bitconnect to prove its legitimacy, and it seems the wheels started falling off from there. In January 2018, the Texas security boards issued a cease and desist letter, and following that, later in August that year, a lower level member was arrested in Delhi. The SEC apparently is also chasing down the leaders of Bitconnect into 2021 and on as well. So how did this scam gain so much popularity? Well, becoming an internet meme helps a lot. In 2017, the main leader, Carlos Matos, had held an infamous conference for Bitconnect where he yelled Bitconnect, becoming an internet meme. I guess he screamed it at the top of his lungs. This really helped garner attention, it seems, and the US government now has jumped into more action with a new auction of $56 million worth of crypto that'll go to the victims of the Ponzi scheme. Overall, it's very difficult to quickly identify these types of schemes from what I can tell because they get so big so fast and you get FOMO, which is fear of missing out. More educated financial investors and seasoned traders could spot this potentially quicker than the average investor, but if you're new to crypto and see this pop up, I can understand how it would be difficult to just ignore it. Once you start looking then it can draw you in, and that's quite the issue. Rule of thumb, besides of course doing your own research, is to only invest what you can easily afford to lose. And if that is nothing, then it's best just to stay safe and to stay out of investing. Coming in at number 3 is Africrypt, featuring two brothers who created an investment crypto platform but disappeared abruptly. Brothers Reyes Keji and Amir Keji, who were 21 and 18 years old, founded the company and pitched that their platform had been using AI to invest. This is a massive $3.6 billion scam that ran off the rails due to a supposed quote-unquote hacking, where these brothers could clearly not come up with a better excuse. In my opinion, even their lawyer seemingly exited quickly, as 2 days after they claimed innocence, the law firm and the brothers terminated their relationship. It's really sad for South Africa to get hit by 2 out of 5 of the biggest crypto scams we know about in the past 18 months. The South African police do have a division called the Hawks that handles serious crimes as well as a slew of other things, but these brothers are long gone and still at large. It's reported that some investors took on legal teams and started trying to liquidate what funds they could, but there are no direct figures of how well that's going. The Africrypt employees lost access to their company computers and accounts, as well as the funds had been moved to other accounts in a matter of making them untraceable. The brothers stated that they're running because of death threats, but who really knows what the true story is right now? Quite frankly, I'm just saddened for the investors. How would you possibly know who and what is the driving force behind these seemingly big exchanges or investment platforms? Governments are trying to further regulate crypto, but again and again, we're seeing this happen to unsuspecting investors just trying to jump in on a crypto wave. The South African government is working hard with its financial regulators to put in new frameworks, but at the end of the day, this is the whole point of my channel. Educating yourself on these type of scams and knowing what you're getting into can help but not promise that you will avoid getting in these situations. I know it's a lot of information and you can't help everybody, so there will always be issues such as this with somebody like myself talking about them after the fact, but such is life. Coming in at number 2 with a whopping $4.5 billion, which is getting close to Fortune 500 companies' yearly profits, is the US married couple. I'm sticking with this name because almost every article I researched has this label for Heather Morgan and Ilya Dutch Lichtenstein. I will start off with some good news considering the circumstances that the DOJ, or Department of Justice, has seized $3.6 billion worth of the stolen cryptocurrency, which was linked to the 2016 hack of Bitconnect, which is an active crypto platform still running and doing well apparently. Over 2,000 unauthorized transactions was conducted following the hack of Bitconnect, which took 119,754 Bitcoin. They found that Liechtenstein's wallet had received the Bitcoin from these wallets, and 25,000 Bitcoin were transferred out through a money laundering process. Apparently, the Bitcoin at the time was only worth $71 million, but now it's worth around $4.5 billion. The couple had spent quite a bit of time planning their techniques and laundering plans. It seems that they're also still potentially in control of a lot of Bitcoin, which is in excess of $500 million from what I've found. Due to that fact, the prosecutors are requesting the couple be denied bail due to them being a potential flight risk, given that they have so much money still. The defense attorney is taking the position that this is blown out of proportion and the couple has no intent of fleeing. That's pretty hard to believe considering that when they were raided, during the raid, they found some quote-unquote passport ideas on some documents in a folder, and they also found some fake ID and burner phones. So it did seem like this couple was planning this for quite some time. I think that if they went through this much money laundering and stole from other people, it's safe to assume you can't put it past them that they would try to flee like our last duo from Africrypt. There are some reports that Alphabay, which is an underground eBay for the digital market, was found to have assisted the capturing of the US married couple, and I hope that truth is found out on this. The investors get their money back and we all learn what we need to do to better protect ourselves and our investments. I also hope that the government learns how to better protect against these situations. The lure of billions or millions of dollars and the untraceability is very attractive right now. Sort of similar to back in the day when banks were stolen from. There was no cell phones or even regular phones, and the regular phones, if they were in existence, just had turning dials. Lastly, I think that situations like this are still pretty unknown, and a lot of people have gotten away with this. You can see the timelines of events in most of these situations, and it's really difficult for them to track or recover these funds. It's not a regular online bank theft where traceability plays an integral role, so that's how they're usually getting away with this. For now, on to number 1, our biggest scam is OneCoin, sitting at $25 billion. Labeled as one of the biggest scams of all time, Ruja Ignatova takes the cake when it comes to pulling off the biggest heist to date, still, quote unquote, getting away with it. She started this back in, it seems, 2012, and in 2015, Bulgaria's Financial Supervision Commission had scared her off by citing that OneCoin was an example of risk in the cryptocurrency space. After that spooking, it seems, Ruja took the hint and prepared her exit. Almost every country you could think of off the top of your head was after her, with some notables being China, Italy, Norway, Sweden, Germany, India, USA, and a lot of others. So OneCoin was pitched as a cryptocurrency, but actually was only available on an internal marketplace. You weren't able to get it on any certain blockchain, and it didn't really have any utility to purchase anything, etc. Ruja was a queen of scamming and had serious brains to pull this off, though. She had a PhD in European private law and clearly thought all of this through. The majority of this scam had been seemingly quarterbacked by her, but the sheer amount of people involved was insane. China reportedly had reined in over $250 million back from going after 98 people. OneCoin was heavily marketed and pumped up and was pitched as a great crypto investment. But the whole play was to purchase these educational packages for trading and then use XCoinX on the OneCoin exchange to swap for other currencies such as euros. Ruja had limited daily limits on this by how many packages of the material you purchased. I'm also relatively confident that there was other hidden costs and fees associated with all of this. The extent of the damage seems to be unknown, and apparently certain people are still even earning off of this thing, which is just purely insane. Overall, I hope these crypto scams shed some light on the darker side of the crypto industry and inspire you to continue educating yourself to better protect your money and investments. Lots of people work really hard and have great families to look after, so the more educated we get, the stronger of a community we are and the smarter investors we become. Please keep in mind a lot of these figures are subject to my research, and of course the amount that's involved is always fluctuating on a day-to-day basis, given that the majority of these coins that are stolen are Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's price of course goes up and down quite dramatically. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode. Hey community, thanks so much for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to receive a notification when a new video drops. Have a great day and keep on learning.